Welcome back to another episode of the Tip Share. This week, the basics of restaurant budgeting. Your restaurant may have a great menu, loyal customers, and an unbeatable location, but without effective restaurant budgeting, none of those factors really matter. A strategic and accurate restaurant budget plan is your establishment's roadmap to success. In other words, it's the most trustworthy guide to your profit. Too often, managers and entrepreneurs don't know how to budget for a restaurant in the restaurant industry. However, without this critical financial information upon which to act, it's impossible to know whether you're heading for a profit, break-even scenario, or a loss. During this video, we're going to share some insight on restaurant budgeting basics, how to budget for a restaurant, devising a reliable restaurant budget plan, and as a bonus, touch on budgeting in terms of restaurant incentive planning for your team. While there's no official manual for how to budget for a restaurant, every operation has unique financial needs within its own four walls. The basics of restaurant budgeting remain the same. Here's a general outline of how to budget for your restaurant. You got to start by defining and calculating your costs. For managers not sure how to budget for a restaurant, start from square one and lay out all your costs. Intimately understanding your monthly expenses helps to form a realistic budget. From food and labor costs to promotional costs and more, we find it best to start at the top of your profit and loss statement and work your way down. Keep in mind that some costs fluctuate while others are fixed. You can learn the difference in an article we've written at RASIusa.com. It is important to note that a solid accounting platform can help streamline your cost management tasks. Next, you want to forecast your sales and labor. Sales and labor forecasts go hand in hand with restaurant budgeting. The more accurate your budget is, the more successful your forecasting will be. The best forecasts are the most honest assessment of your current and future sales and labor needs. Consistency is key, and having on-point financial reporting resources keeps your forecasting on track. Next, you want to track your sales against costs and adjust as needed. We mentioned it briefly before, but utilizing POS data is a great way to make your restaurant budgeting work in your favor. A practical, workable, sustainable budget starts with accurate, real-time data, and it's critical to have a reliable POS integration in place to ensure that your sales are always up to date for analysis. For costs, our multi-unit inventory and theoretical costing tool at RASI helps account for the other side of this exact equation. Next, you want to focus on a robust cash management plan. Once you account for the above items, you should regularly review your restaurant budget plan in terms of budget versus actual, i.e., what you budgeted versus what you spent. Additionally, you'll want to ensure that you have a strategic cash management plan that works for your current situation and is agile enough to anticipate turmoil and unexpected events down the road. As a bonus, don't forget restaurant incentive planning. Here's a cost that you should recognize within your budget to benefit your restaurant for the long term. Well-planned and thoughtfully structured incentives for high-performance employees are the ultimate two-way street advantage. With proper restaurant incentive planning, your guests enjoy superior customer service, and your establishment experiences less turnover and a happy, productive workforce. Remember, incentive planning can apply to your customer base as well. In this case, incentive planning revolves around loyalty programs. The outdated method of tracking loyalty programs, cards, stamps, and paper-based mediums are a thing of the past. With a comprehensive accounting system and consistently tracking metrics, you'll know exactly what your customers are spending, when they're spending, and what incentivizes them to return to your restaurant. For a more in-depth look at budgeting, our popular blog post, Smart Budgeting, the key ingredient to any restaurant's success, can be found at RASIusa.com. It's an invaluable resource in helping you navigate the oftentimes turbulent waters of forming a restaurant budget plan. This widely viewed blog post touches on how to budget for a restaurant, items to account for in your budget, monthly expenses, different expense categories, the difference between fixed, variable, and semi-variable costs, and much more. Check it out today via the link in the description. To fully optimize your restaurant budgeting plan, RASI recommends weekly financial reporting. 52 weekly budget tweaks per year may sound a bit excessive, but given the current climate of highly variable expenses and volatile inflation, it's always best to trust the frequent cadence of a regular budget than one that is always trying to account for past oversights and predict unknown variables in the near and long-term future. Many companies enjoy better visibility on their restaurant budgeting by adopting a weekly reporting schedule. Just one benefit is tighter controls of prime costs, which allows greater flexibility to spend profits on as-needed initiatives. If that all sounds great to you, you should check out RASI Services and request a demo today to discover our powerful accounting tools to see how RASI can assist with your restaurant budgeting. Make sure you have the professional, experienced accounting platform ready to work for you. Contact us today at rasiusa.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Tip Share, and as always, we'll see you next week.